Congratulations, Bushiroad. You did the one thing that people did not want you to do, and that was actually reboot the game. Let's give you a round of applause. You did great. You were a winner. Why did you do it, Bushiroad? Why did you have to do it? Now, to be fair, you not only did the one thing that a lot of people distrusted, and that was actually reboot the game because you knew that people were going to threaten to quit the game if there was another reboot or there was some type of rotation that would happen. However, at that same particular time of your ballsy move, you actually saved your own ass at the end of the day. Like, let's be real on that. Because it's not really a rotation, it's not really technically a reboot. It feels like a whole completely new game. And for that, I also have to give you a round of applause. Because that's actually something that I really wasn't expecting. Thank God we don't have to do another. Hey, let's look at Blaster Blade again. Let's look at Blaster Dark again. Let's look at Overlord again or anything else like that. We're not repeating the same Groundhog Day type of effect anymore. We're actually going into something new, something different, something a little bit creative. It actually has lore again, which is actually something that I'm definitely liking about this. However, there's obviously a few things that I really don't like about this at the same time, which I will go over in a minute. But I actually have to give you credit for the moves that you actually played in doing this whole revamping of Cardfight Vanguard, especially getting rid of that god awful R&D department. I'm glad that they're gone. Let's be real. Vanguard in 2020 was one of the worst experiences that I ever had. It reminded me of Necros format in Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, when Necros was the number one deck, it became a pay-to-win game, and everything costs really high for no apparent reason. That was Vanguard 2020. Like, it even got up to a point where it was an OTK format and everything else like that. Nobody liked it. Nobody liked it when Luar was number one. Nobody even liked it when Gugurt was number one. And people were probably not going to like in the fact that Gabrielle is going to be number one for a while. Honestly, this was a perfect move because every single card that became meta within the last year and a half has been total, complete, and utter trash. Complete and total utter trash. So yes, I am glad that you got rid of the old R&D department. I'm glad that the new R&D department actually has some type of knowledge of how to deal with a TCG. But I digress. There is still a couple of things that I'm necessarily kind of sus about this whole particular thing. One, everything is going through nations instead of clans, and I will admit that's actually kind of depressing. I actually like the whole clan system. I think a lot of people actually like the whole clan system, but I guess the way you're trying to set this up where you're still supporting a lot of those clans, but at the same time making them one nation under the hood, getting down just for the funk of it. I mean, I guess it's understandable what you're actually doing. I want to see how this support system is going to go, and I want to see how you're going to be utilizing the different sub clans, and or are they just called clans, or they call sub clans, or I don't know how you're going to actually do this. I'm just kind of curious of how all this is actually going to work. The second thing, then, is the most important thing that I'm very sus about this whole thing, is the fact that you're not going to be able to misride anymore. Okay, I know a lot of people were excited for the misride thing, but hear me out. Miswriting is kind of something that was kind of sort of like it's kind of hard to explain. It's something that, yes, it sucks, especially during tournament periods, but it is something that kind of sort of feels like a reward at the end of the day. Now, let me explain this. Let's say you get your starting hand, you have, let's say, nothing but zeros. You mill your whole hand, you get your new hand, you have like a few ones and a couple of grade threes and maybe another grade zero. So you go to your first turn, still no two. You ride into your grade one, draw your card, maybe get your quick shield, everything else. And then obviously your opponent attacks you, do whatever. So now you get to your card, you still have no grade 2 in hand, but it turns out that top deck card is the grade 2. That, in my honest opinion, is one of the most relieving moments to ever play in this particular game. I know it's weird, I know it's a weird factor, but I'm gonna be real with you. You're kind of sort of taking the easy way out on this. I mean, a lot of people were saying, "Hey, um, Vanguard is starting to get more like Magic the Gathering." When in reality, this whole system is proven that it's more like Force of Will. And let me explain. In Magic the Gathering, you have this thing called Mana Screwed and Mana Flooded. Mana Screwed is when you have two or less lands in hand, even after the mulligan, and Mana Flooded is where you have too many lands in your hand. And this was one of the major problems that a lot of people had with the game. So Force of Will took that thing and made it into a separate pile, which, I'm gonna be real, I don't remember what they called that particular pile, but it's basically where all your mana is. And I've seen countless times about people complaining about Magic the Gathering and how Magic should have this exact same type of thing when it comes to, the mana situation. And obviously, a lot of Magic the Gathering players do not like the idea, especially a lot of veteran Magic the Gathering players and everything else. And I'm kind of sort of in the same boat with this particular idea, too. I don't like the fact that you're not able to misride anymore, and now you have this deck that is solely dedicated so that you never miss a ride ever again. It sucks. I will admit I'm not really liking it, but I'm going to see where all of this is going to go. I feel like, in my honest opinion, this is kind of putting everything into easy mode, which is kind of sort of the thing I'm not liking about it. It feels like the game has been dumbed down even more. Knowing that, in my honest opinion, the one thing standard format needed to do was evolve into something better. Now, obviously, unless they did like some type of major ban list, that wasn't going to happen, which is pretty much why they did the whole reboot altogether. So it's a little bit understandable, and I'm actually going to trust this new R&D department because I do feel like that they have very good taste in what they're actually trying to achieve with this. But I guess if I had to use it as another prime example, I guess you would have to look at it between Halo 3 and Halo Reach. I'm gonna be real with you. I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but I actually like Halo 3 better than Halo Reach. And one of the major reasons is I like the fact that everybody knew where the power weapons and the power ups were in the maps, and basically you had to fight to get those particular power weapons. It was actually pretty interesting. It made the game a lot more fun, and it made the stakes a lot more higher, especially when it comes to the consequences. Whereas Halo Reach, yes, you still fight for power weapons and you even fight for health packs, which is pretty much one of the things that I like Halo Reach over Halo 3. But the power ups kind of come in this little pack. I mean, loadout, which honestly kind of defeats the purpose and everything. And I kind of feel like that was one of the things why I liked Halo 3 better than Reach, but that's just me. I'm basically looking at this at the same way. Despite that I hate miswriting, despite that the miswriting at the wrong time, especially in tournament settings, kind of sort of sucked. At the end of the day, thinking that you miswriting when in reality you didn't because you top decked the card is actually a way better feeling than you really think it is. But that's just me. Maybe it's just me. That's why I'm not really complaining too much about it. Um, my only worry about this whole thing is how are they going to manage three formats? They hardly did anything with premium format, which let's be real, at this particular point, premium format's dead. Let's be real on that. They're not really going to cater to premium format like that.